Field, and another chance for the Twins to win a ball game against the New York Yankees. The Twins have found it hard to sweep opponents, and now they'll try to make it very difficult for the Yankees to sweep them. Dick Bramer along with Burt Blyleven for the final game of this 3-game series. And again this year in the season series, it seems like the only thing smaller than the margin of defeat for the Twins is the margin for error when they play the Yankees.
I tell you what, against the New York Yankees, you cannot make any mistakes. You have to make every play because the Twins have actually played the Yankees pretty good. It always seems that the Yankees get that big hit at the end of the game. Where the Twins maybe had some opportunity in the beginning of the game. They maybe put some pressure on the Yankees, and it's the Yankees that always seem to put the pressure on the Twins.
Now the Twins in the month of April had the American League Pitcher of the Month in Francisco Liriano. The pitcher tonight for the Minnesota Twins, the starting pitcher Nick Blackburn, should get some consideration for the month of May.
Well, a big win here tonight would really help. He's 4-0 so far in the month of May, an ERA at 2.67. And Blackie, he's the only pitcher to beat the Yankees yet this year, so he'd like to do it twice here in the month of May.
And all season long, the Twins are paying tribute to their 50 greatest uniform personnel. We'll take a look at Dave Winfield's brief but historic career as a Twin when we come back.
Dealer, or go to northlandford.com. By Menards, save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By GMC, we are professional grade. And by Anheuser-Busch, want to go home with me tonight? I'm the designated driver. Budweiser, responsibility matters.
Minnesota trying to avoid their first sweep in their new home at Target Field. Final game of the series against the Yankees just moments away. Their first season at Target Field is the 50th season of baseball in the Twin Cities. And as a part of the celebration of those 50 years, the Twins decided to name their 50 greatest players. A vote was held by media members all throughout Twins territory and by senior members of the Twins staff, and the 50 greatest Twins were selected. Among those was St. Paul native Dave Winfield. His story is told by fellow St. Paul native Jack Morris.
Dave Winfield was one of the greatest athletes to ever play the game. He was long and lean with a torrid swing and stride so powerful it couldn't contain his famous no-eared helmet. He possessed both a menacing glare and a smile that could light up the entire ballpark. Born and raised in St. Paul, Winfield was a star at Central High School and played both baseball and basketball for the Gophers. He pursued baseball and went straight to the show. His Hall of Fame career included 12 All-Star appearances, 7 Gold Gloves, and a World Series title. Dave's 22 big league seasons included 2 back home. Though his stay in Minnesota was short, it is where he made history. Trevor Fleck, Fox Sports North.
Tonight, Nick Blackburn tries to make it 5 wins in 5 starts, 2 against the Yankees as the Twins try to avoid the sweep. First pitch in a moment.
Had hoped it had exercised its Yankee demons in New York. But it's been the same story this week at Target Field as the Yankees handed the Twins their first series loss at home this season. Tonight, the Twins try to get the bats going as they get one final crack at the Yankees. Losing a one-run ball game is tough. Losing 3 in a row is very tough. And when you lose 2 in one day, as the Twins did yesterday, you'd like to get back to the ballpark as quickly as possible and make up for all of that. We'll see if the Twins can win the final game of this series. The Menards batting order for New York. Derek Jeter leading off. Brett Gardner hitting second. Mark Teixeira hitting third. Alex Rodriguez, the cleanup hitter. Then Robinson Cano, Nick Swisher, Juan Miranda, Francisco Cervelli, and Kevin Russo.
And the Dodge-Ram scouting report on Nick Blackburn making his 9th start of the year, looking for his 6th win. He's 5-1 on the year. Currently on that 4-game winning streak we talked about in the pregame, 4-0 with a 2.67 ERA. And what he says, he's been throwing easier. Not trying to put too much pressure, but throwing easier and keeping that ball down in the strike zone. 13 walks, 15 strikeouts for Blackburn in 54 innings pitched. So a contact pitcher.
Absolutely perfect weather. We had it yesterday. We have it again today. Just a glorious late spring day in the Twin Cities area. And the Twins hope to finish this series with a win. Jeter standing in, and we're about ready to go. And down on the dirt, ball one. Jeter provided the only run in the 1-0 completion of the game that started 2 nights ago. Outside, 2-0. Blackburn with 4 wins in 4 starts. This will be his last start in the month of May. Came inside, got a foul ball, 2-1. He can be the first Twins pitcher with 6 wins this year. His ERA seems to be plummeting after every start. So all the arrows pointing in the right direction for Nick Blackburn.
Yeah, Blackburn making his 75th career start. All of them with the Twins.
And now 3-1.
Well, you don't want to walk that leadoff hitter. Again, the walks have not really hurt Blackburn this year. Again, 13 walks in 54 innings pitched. Maurer will sit outer half of the plate. Well, they're going to sit inside.
And a solid single to center for Jeter.
Well, that's a tough pitch right there. You know, every time I come out of that bullpen, I wanted that fastball down and away, and that's a hittable pitch right there, only because he has to throw a strike middle in, and Jeter took it right back up the middle.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Jason Kubel, Denard Span, Michael Kanier in the outfield. Alexi Casilla getting the start at third. J.J. Hardy, Orlando Hudson up the middle, Morneau at first, and Maurer behind the plate. Nick Punto ready to play. In fact, Ron Gardenhire promised us he'd be in the starting lineup tomorrow, but Casilla gets the start there tonight. Here's Brett Gardner. And strike one.
Let's take a look at this first pitch right here. You're down 3-1, and then you try to throw a fastball that's going to end up plenty of the plate rather than going outer half of the plate and making them hit it the other way. This guy's such a good hitter, over 2,800 hits. He's not going to miss a mistake like that.
It's flipped to left field. Almost right at Jason Kubel. He makes the grab, 1 away.
Well, anytime you can get Gardner to pop up, that's a good thing. Blackburn does get a lot of ground ball outs. He's actually had 10 double plays turned behind him this season.
We hope you're enjoying Twins baseball, and we hope you're enjoying it in Sony high definition. 1 gone, Jeter aboard, and here's Mark Teixeira. It was Blackburn who helped the Twins avoid a sweep in New York. He was the starting pitcher, pitched well, pitched 7 innings, pitched long enough so the Twins until the Twins were able to put together that 5-run 8th inning. And the Twins ended up winning the series finale in New York, and they'll hope to do that here tonight.
Yeah, they beat the Yankees 6-3 in that ball game thanks to Jason Kubel's grand slam.
Outside, ball 1.
Well, this guy right here, Teixeira, has enjoyed hitting against Blackburn. 8 hits and 10 at-bats with a home run. There are the numbers right there. Teixeira hitting only 187 as a left-handed hitter. 4 of his 7 home runs coming from this side of the plate.
And it drifts outside, 2-0.
You want to pitch ahead in the count, and that's Blackburn's game. He's been falling behind here on the first 3 hitters. Blackburn 3-0 so far here at Target Field. This is his 5th start here.
with Alex Rodriguez on deck. Teixeira was 2 for 4 against Blackburn in New York a couple weeks ago with an RBI single. The 2 hits were both singles. Three and off-speed pitch. Oh, good 90 miles per hour, not an off-speed pitch. It hit the corner. 3-1.
Again, Blackburn's always going to try to get some sink on that ball. And that fastball had a little movement on it. See if Teixeira can roll over one, get it maybe over to Hudson at second.
Jeter goes, and the pitch lifted foul toward the tarp and over the tarp. It's 3-2. Well, the Yankees sent Jeter on a 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, maybe a little hit and run put on right there. Jeter with 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts, but Joe Girardi moving them early. And he'll probably take off here. Blackburn very quick home, so maybe a strike him out, throw him out type situation for Blackburn.
Long hold. Jeter goes, and the pitch line to center field. So Jeter will round second and go to third. And Teixeira has another hit against Blackburn. First and third, one away.
Well, good piece of hitting right by Teixeira. Blackburn fell behind, and then he finally got the count to 3-2. Went with that sinker down. And Teixeira doesn't try to do too much with it. Takes it right back up the middle. And with Jeter on the move, he makes it over to third.
So Rodriguez comes up with runners at first and third and one away. And as great as Teixeira has been against Blackburn, for whatever reason, Alex Rodriguez has not had much success. He's gotten 3 hits, but in 12 at bats, Blackburn, who is not a strikeout pitcher, has struck him out 5 times. And he delivers strike 1.
I think in this series what we've seen is the Twins are trying to pitch him hard inside, and that's where Blackburn struck him out in New York. That good sinker down and in. If he does make contact, maybe he'll hit it on top of that ball and hit it over to Casilla.
0-2. Rodriguez hitless in 3 at bats against Blackburn in New York. Hitless in 3 at bats last night. 1 for 4 in the fractured opening game of this series.
See if they go down and in on him right here. Watch Mauer move.
Just missed the corner, and Rodriguez took it for ball 1.
Yeah, that's the pitch that he swung at in New York and ended up striking out. That sinker down and in. And this time Rodriguez leaves it alone.
Yankees threatening here in the first. 1-2 to Rodriguez. High hopper over the mound. Hardy steps on the bag, fires, and Morneau digs it out. He gets the double play and gets out of the first inning. just dug one out there to complete the double play, and Justin Morneau hoping the Twins can score first. He's in the middle of the Menards batting order. Denard Span having a good homestand. Orlando Hudson, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jim Thome, Michael Kadire, Jason Kubel, J.J. Hardy, and Alexi Casilla.
And the Jeep's got a report on Javier Vasquez making his 8th start, his 9th appearance, looking for win number 4 on the year. He's starting to find his rhythm. Over his last 3 starts, he's 2-1, but an ERA at 1.38. And he last faced the Twins when he was with the Chicago White Sox back in 2008. Actually lost that ball game to the Twins, but he is 6-6 in his career against the Minnesota Twins.
Inside to Denard Span. Span has done his part. He got on base 3 times in the nightcap, or in the second game of this series, 3 hits in the first game, and he averaged climbing toward 300. 1-1. Vasquez says he's fine. He injured his finger in his last start, made a start and a very good one against the New York Mets. But he curled his finger around the bat and tried to bunt, and he got hit in the index finger of his pitching hand. Roller right side, Teixeira's there. And he goes to the bag, 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Yankees, and Teixeira, Gold Glover at first base. Russo in left, Gardner in center, Swisher in right. Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Mark Teixeira around the infield. And with Jorge Posada out of the lineup, Francisco Cervelli becomes the everyday catcher. 1 gone, and here's Orlando Hudson. Hudson 0 for 8 so far in this series. And strike 1.
And Hudson has a lot of at-bats against Vasquez. 18 at-bats. He's been able to get 5 hits with a home run. Both these guys in the National League last year. Javier Vasquez with the Atlanta Braves, and Hudson with the Dodgers. Vasquez coming over to the Yankees in a trade over the winter. Melky Cabrera, the big name, going to the Braves.
Boone Logan also coming to the Yankees, and the Yankees sent him down yesterday. 1-2 to Hudson, trying to get aboard here. Twins scored a first inning run in the game last night. And then, unfortunately, only one more after that. 2-2.
That might have been a split finger right there. Vasquez has a good sinking fastball, not overpowering, but he's a great strikeout pitcher. Over his career, he's averaged about 8 strikeouts per 9 innings. He'll mix in a curveball, slider, and then he'll use that changeup, that split finger, as a changeup.
And he checks the swing, and it's a full count with Mauer on deck.
Vasquez over his career has been an innings eater. In the 2000s, only Randy Johnson, who's retired, Javier Hernandez. Juan Hernandez has worked more innings than Vasquez.
And Hudson works out a 1-out walk. So the Twins get a base runner with the middle of the lineup coming up. And the middle of the lineup, top, bottom, they are in a prolonged home run drought.
Well, we've seen some balls that look like they maybe could be home runs, but here at Target Field, it's been pretty stingy. Twins have hit a lot of balls to the warning track. Saw Morneau, Hardy, and then Joe Mauer taking Rizzo right there to the warning track.
The Lincoln Mercury key stack. Kubel in the lineup today, trying to break the homerless streak. Joe Mauer has yet to officially hit a home run in his new ballpark. And he takes it to knees, a strike. Now the Twins media relations staff has given us a long list of homerless at-bats or plate appearances. The Twins have gone 325 plate appearances without a home run. There have been 10 streaks longer than that in Twins history. Including one that wasn't as bad as it looks. Twins had 448 plate appearances without a home run in 1981. They hit a home run on May 30th and didn't hit another one until August 11th. But then you have to remember, in the middle of that streak, there was a work stoppage.
We had a couple months off.
1-1 to Bauer. Close pitch taken for ball 2. So Vasquez, dozen pitches, just 5 strikes. Dealing with Hudson, who he's already walked, and Mauer with a 2-1 count.
Vasquez, 33 years old, from Puerto Rico, in his 13th major league season. This is his second stint with the Yankees. He's also with the Yankees back in 2004. And you can see one of only 4 pitchers to pitch 200 innings in each of his past 5 seasons, but 9 of his last 10 seasons have been able to do that. And it went at least 10 games in 10 straight seasons.
Foul back, 2-2.
So he's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, he's never been on the disabled list, so he's been available to pitch, as you said, in his second stint with the Yankees. He went to Atlanta as kind of the headline guy, I guess, of a restructured rotation, and with the Yankees, he's just kind of a fill out the rotation guy. They've got more expensive pitchers than him filling the top spots in the rotation.
Pretty nice guy to have as your 4th or 5th starter.
Mauer fouls it back.
Well, what you want out of a starter is durability, and that's what this guy has been really ever since he came up with the Expos back in 1998. Andy Pettit right there, A.J. Burnett, both winners.
Twins will get through the regular season without seeing the top 2 starting pitchers for the Yankees, at least so far, C.C. Sabathia and Philip Hughes. 2-2 to Mauer. Curve in the dirt. Scouts said last year that one of the reasons Vasquez had a comeback year, if you will, with the Braves, he threw his off-speed stuff more frequently last year than he had in some other years. And had great command of his off-speed pitches.
He's always had excellent control, averaging about 2 walks per 9 innings throughout his career. Where he's thrown almost 2,200 innings.
Full count to Mauer. Hudson goes, and the pitch lined over the head of Cano. Hudson doesn't go for the decoy, and he'll go to third base. Cano looked like he tried to decoy the runner into sliding into second base, but Hudson got a good read and scampered all the way to third.
There really can't be a decoy right there. If Cano catches it, Hudson's a double play. So Hudson, watching the ball off the bat, knows where Cano is. Cano, tries to decoy him, but Hudson knows this ball is hit over his head, and he makes it over to third base. So the Twins doing the same as the Yankees did in the top of the inning, putting runners at the corners with 1 out.
And Mauer at the plate. Morneau at the plate. With Mauer at first and Hudson at third. Outside, ball 1. A rarity last night for Justin Morneau. He went 0 for 4. He never got to first base. And to give you some idea how good he's been at getting on base, it's the first time in 2.5 weeks he never reached first base.
And great numbers against Vasquez. 14 for 40 with 6 home runs.
On the outside corner, 1-1. Twins have hit into a bunch of double plays last night. Morneau hit into his first double play. One and now 2-1.
That's one area that has really hurt the Twins. They've hit into 57 double plays, more than any team in Major League Baseball. Closest pursuers, the Kansas City Royals, they've hit into 53.
Those are ground ball double plays. There have been some line drive double plays that have been particularly painful to watch. Outside, 3-1 with Tomey on deck.
Well, when a guy has success against you like Justin does against Vasquez, you always find yourself as a pitcher in this count. Always behind in the count. Now you have to come in with a pretty good pitch for hopefully Justin can drive it somewhere.
3-1 to Morneau. Lifted to left. Hudson setting up for a tag. He's going to score, and the Twins get the first run. A sacrifice fly for Morneau and his 35th run batted in. And now that'll bring Tomey to the plate with 2 out and a man aboard.
Yeah, Vladimir Guerrero leading the American League with 42 RBIs. Justin picking up his 35th, 5th in the American League in that department.
Tomey back in the starting lineup. Been mainly a pinch hitter for most of this homestand. And the first pitch over for a strike. Vasquez and Tomey, former teammates with the White Sox. Hudson's walk leading to a Twins run. Bunch of shakeoffs here with Vasquez taking signs from Cervelli. 1-1. 23 pitches, only 11 strikes for Vasquez. Tapper up the line, foul. Twins have scored just a couple of runs. They came in the night game yesterday against the Yankees. That's kind of been one of their problems against New York. Far too few innings, like the big 5-run 8th inning that led to their only win so far against New York. See if Tomey can extend the inning here with a 1-2 count. Two and two.
Well, Jim Tomey with 569 career home runs, 4 behind Harmon Killebrew for 10th on the all-time list.
Two and two. Ripped to the glove of Teixeira. An absolute rocket. And Teixeira picked it off before it reached the right field corner.
This will break in a glove.
Bert, you're a big fan of chili, so
Yes.
I think we're going to have our girl Carly here bring it up to you in the broadcast booth, and you could.
And I'm hungry too. Get it up here.
And you can treat everybody around you in the booth. So how about this? This job's really tough right now, isn't it?
Thank you, Robbie. Down and in, ball 1 to Robinson Cano. It'll be Cano, Swisher, and Miranda, with Blackburn pitching with a 1-0 lead. And fouled away 1-1.
A big double play turn behind Blackburn to end the first inning. Good job by J.J. Hardy getting that little short hop and then getting over to Justin, and he made a nice pick. But 11 double plays turned behind Blackburn so far.
Breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss. I asked Ron Gardenhire what he's noticed about Blackburn and the difference between April and May, and in addition to everything else that's been discussed, Gardy said Blackburn is healthy now, that his knees are healthy enough to where he's not putting too much pressure on the elbow. Just off the inside corner. Remember, right about the end of April when he left to be with his family and had a little family situation that needed his attention, he had some problems in the back of his elbow, and they have determined now that became, because of his mechanics, a little messed up because his knee wasn't feeling 100%.
Well, Blackburn's a guy that doesn't really overstride. He does a good job of shortening that stride up, and that creates that good downward plane. A guy that gets right on top of that baseball, and his success is down in the strike zone. He and pitching coach Rick Anderson looked at a lot of films, and they tried to back off a little bit. Don't try to throw the ball so hard. Just let it come out naturally, and you'll get a lot of those right there. Ground ball outs.
Right to Orlando Hudson for the first out of the second inning. And that'll bring up Swisher.
In the windup right here, you'll see a little bit of the hesitation right there, and that allows kind of his body to catch up, and you can see he doesn't really have that long a stride, so he does a good job of creating and staying on top of that baseball.
But when Ron Gardenhire described the transition that Blackburn has gone through, it reminded me again, we talk so much about a pitcher's arm and how it's their bread and butter, and the elbows and the shoulders, and of course when you've had a situation like Joe Nathan this year, the major elbow surgery, you think of a pitcher's arm, but it really is the whole body, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You've talked many times about how so much of a pitcher's strength comes from the legs, or
the lower part of your body.
Part of your body. Just off the outside corner, 1-1.
Ron Coomer, Blackburn straight over the top as a former hitter. What are you looking for out of Blackburn?
Well, just what you said, Bert. He's got a short stride, and he stays on top of the ball. And the one thing, as a hitter, the one thing that I always found, a good sinker ball pitcher, you always feel like you're on him pretty good, and then you end up taking a good swing, and what do? You do what just happened. You hit a hard ground ball right at an infielder, and all of a sudden you're like, man, I was on that pitch, and just that last late movement ends up grounding out.
High fly into the beautiful blue sky here in the Twin Cities, out number 2. Well, Blackburn with a short stride, and I'm wondering if my eyes are deceiving me or not. Can we see from the mound itself how short that stride is in comparison to Vasquez? Because it looks like there are two different marks out there, two different landing spots for the right-handed pitcher's left leg.
Yeah, some guys open up a little bit. Blackburn pretty much even right toward home plate. You'll see the two marks. That first one closest to Blackburn, that's where Blackie lands, and the other one is Javier Vasquez. The hardest part sometimes as a pitcher when you land the same spot.
Ball 1.
You can see Blackburn's right here, and then Javier Vasquez a little bit further out.
We're a roller to the second baseman Hudson. And Blackburn gets a couple of ground ball outs. He's got a 1-2-3 second inning. 2 innings complete with 29 pitches. It's a Minnesota Moment brought to you by Explore Minnesota. You can visit exploreminnesota.com. Plan your next Minnesota vacation today. That's the Wilderness at Fortune Bay on Lake Vermilion in northeastern Minnesota. Opened in 2004, showcase holes are located on a high granite ridge with spectacular views of Lake Vermilion and the surrounding forest.
I have a bad hip. That's a driver right now for me.
You're going to get your hip taken care of, though, right?
Yes, I will in October.
Michael Kadire lead off the second inning. Ball one. You and I both played in Harmon Killeber's golf tournament on Monday, and I discovered something. I'm breaking in a new set of irons. It's a great thing when you're playing with people you've never met before, swing and a miss, and you've got that excuse, because when you're a club or two off, you've got, built-in excuse. Hey, I'm just breaking in these irons. I don't know how far they go. Kadire, Kubel, and Hardy facing Vasquez here in the second.
What the Twins want to do here against the Yankees is keep adding on. I think what we've seen, the Twins, sometimes they'll take a lead, but then, they're unable to just make it a 3 or 4 nothing lead rather than a 1 nothing lead. Nice souvenir for that young lady.
One and two. And punch to right center field. Gardner with great speed, but he can't make the play. Kadire will go to second, and he'll hold up there. Gardner, late in the game last night, went to the gap in left center and almost hauled in Drew Buterra's double, and he nearly got Kadire's double here in the second.
Oh, good effort right there by Gardner, but, he had to go a long way for this ball. Right off the end of the bat, you can see the ball not hit real crisp. Kind of just takes his hand off the bat, lands in front of the diving Gardner, and then Nick Swisher has to go retrieve it in. By that time, Kadire had rounded first, and he's in with a leadoff double, his 11th double of the year.
And Kubel off the end of the bat, a foul ball, 1 strike.
Kubel 4 for 23 lifetime against Vasquez, but 2 of the 4 hits have been home runs. Kubel's job right here, get Kadire over to third. We've seen the Twins do this too, not able to get that guy over. You want to try to pull that ball on the right side of the infield, and of course Vasquez is going to pitch him hard away.
Ron Coomer, so much attention paid to the Twins not hitting home runs. Going through a stretch like that, they really need to do a better job of situational hitting, don't they?
Bert, you're exactly right. And Dick, the big key to me is doing it all game, not just late in the game, but all game. And Dick, when you bring that up, sometimes a big ball game like this is win or lost in the second inning, third inning. To me, these early innings, for us to score a couple runs, like you guys both just said, very important. I think right now, Cougs has to do a good job with situational hitting.
2-1 to the Twins left fielder. That's why you look back to that first inning, Bert and Ron, if you're still with us. The temptation would have been there for Justin Morneau to maybe try to do too much, hit a 3-run homer, and what the situation really called for, to be sure, was to get that runner in from third, and he just flipped a fly ball to left. It's on the outside corner, 2-2.
Dick, you're right. And the other thing that happened in the first inning is, for one of the first times of the season, we've seen motion with Hudson, with Joe Mauer hitting. So that just goes to show you, Gardy is going to try to do whatever he can do to try to get runners in motion, stay out of the double play, and help the situational hitting.
2-2 to Kubel. Lifted to right center field, and it's got some carry.
That'll get him in.
To the gap off the warning track. An extra base hit for Kubel. Kadire scores, and it's 2-0.
Now that's moving him over right there. An RBI double for Jason Kubel, his 5th double of the year. And Vasquez left a slow breaking ball that Kubel kept those hands back nicely and went down, and an uppercut swing. Good piece of hitting right there by Jason Kubel, scoring Kadire from second. So that's what you want to do. You put the Yankees behind the 8 ball, but you want to put them behind the 8 ball with maybe, a 13 ball rather than a 1 or 2 ball.
Take the suspense out of the ninth inning. Here's Hardy, and he takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. Now, what we've seen from Hardy before he got hurt, of course, the fact that he is a baseball player and he has a very good awareness of what his job is here now. Same thing as it was for Kubel, to make sure he moves the runner up a base.
Yeah, we saw this in spring training. This is something that he really works on.
And so he rifles a shot to center. Kubel hesitated. He probably would have been held at third anyway. And the inning starts with 3 hits.
Even though he hit that ball to the left side, he waited back nicely, and then he noticed where that pitch was, and J.J. Hardy put a good swing on that to get the base hit. So it looked like his intentions were to hit the ball the other way, but he ends up getting rewarded with a base hit up the middle.
Quick trip to the mound for Dave Island.
Take a look at Hardy right here, trying to keep those hands back, but boom. Boy, I imagine Ron Coomer, when you see a ball pretty much right down the middle of the plate, yeah, you'd like to still hit it the other way, but boy, you're going to be quick as you can and hit it hard somewhere.
Well, the one big key, like you talked about Derek Jeter getting that hit, when the pitch is starting to run in on you and that ball didn't quite get in, as long as you keep your hands close to your body and get your hands extended out towards the pitcher, you're going to square that ball up. Great swing by Hardy, and the other point of that is getting a pitch that you can handle to hit behind the runner. I think it's real important. You look at his hands, stay close to his body, and the barrel gets out in front, and he's able to shoot that running fastball in on him, back through the middle.
And now Casilla with runners at first and third and nobody out. High ball 1. Brendan Harris struggling so mightily at third base and at short in Hardy's absence. Twins sending Casilla out there.
Watch Cervelli, the catcher, how much he moves behind home plate. Now, he sat way inside, and that ball's left out over the plate. Again, sitting inside.
Oh, what a snag by Teixeira. And now Hardy is hung out between first and second. It's a double play, and the Twins have hit 2 rockets to the glove side of Teixeira, and he's caught them both. Another run scores. It's 3-0.
Yeah, Casilla can't hit it any harder than he did right there. Kubel does score from third base, but watch Teixeira get off, keep that glove down, lunges for it, diving for it, steps on the bag, and now it's a force out. Derek Jeter ends up tagging out J.J. Hardy, but boy, Casilla hit that ball sharply for that double play.
3-0 Twins, and here's Span with the bases empty and 2 gone. Strike 1. The first time through the order, the Twins have 4 hits and a sacrifice fly and a walk. And the last 3 outs have been recorded on 2 absolute bullets headed into the right field corner. Drifts outside, 1-1.
Casilla not getting an RBI because of the double play, but boy, did he hit that ball sharply. As Kubel makes it a 3-0 lead.
Outside, 2-1. So a good first trip through the batting order for the Twins against Javier Vasquez, who gave up just 1 hit against the Mets in his last start. 3-1 with Hudson on deck. When we were in New York, the Yankees had the opportunity and the pattern of sending Vasquez out for the final game of the series. But Vasquez has not enjoyed pitching in the new Yankee Stadium, to the point where there are suspicions that the Yankees are very cautious about giving him a start in their home ballpark. They did everything they could in their just completed homestand to avoid running him out there to make a start.
Hey, he's made only 2 starts there, though. That's the thing. I mean, he's got a 9.35 ERA. He's 1-1. I mean, that puts a negative in your thought process right away.
This one over Teixeira and into the right field corner. And the Twins are ripping apart Javier Vasquez. Span looked like he was going to head for third. He'll hold up with the 3rd double of the inning.
Well, we showed you J.J. Hardy waiting back and Span, one of those guys that at the last second just drops the barrel of the bat at that baseball, and this one ends up down that right field corner. Span with a 2-out double, his 10th double of the year, and he gets in the scoring position for Orlando Hudson.
So in the inning, a single, 3 doubles, and a hard shot that could have been a double. And Orlando Hudson will hit. Drew a 1-out walk and came around to score last inning. Strike on the inside corner. And Vasquez's 2 starts at Yankee Stadium. His first in the middle of April. 4 earned runs, 5 1/3 innings, and he was booed by the Yankee fans in his Yankee Stadium debut. And his second start against the White Sox was worse. He gave up 3 home runs. 1-1.
Nick Blackburn at his last start, the beneficiary of 15 runs scored by the Twins against the Milwaukee Brewers.
1-1 to Hudson. Soft liner back to Vasquez, and that ends the inning. 4 hits, 2 runs for the Twins, and it's 3-0.
Possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible.
Just 2 runs for the Twins in the first 2 games of this series, but 3 early runs here in the final game. What a sight to see. Twins fans having to shield their eyes from the sun. And as we begin the top of the 3rd inning, Francisco Cervelli facing Nick Blackburn. Blackburn misses ball 1. And we're happy to be joined by Lieutenant Eric Roski of the Minnesota State Patrol. Everybody knows it's Memorial Day weekend, and everybody's focus is for everybody to enjoy the weekend, but get to your destination and come back home safely.
Absolutely. That's what we're asking people to do, is enjoy the weekend, have a good time, but make a plan for a safe ride home. If you've been drinking, of course, wear your seatbelt. And with this road construction we've had this summer, certainly allow extra time and try to have some extra patience as well.
Now, Lieutenant Roski, you know, you're here for click it and ticket, but I wear my seatbelt. I would feel like I'm naked if I didn't put my seatbelt on. And, you know, you watch and you're looking at me like, you know, don't get me for a misdemeanor, but I do wear clothes when I put my seatbelt on. But how can people not put on a seatbelt?
Well, I think sometimes there's just that feeling of invincibility. They think I've never been in a crash, so it's not going to happen to me. Those things happen to other people, but as we see all too often, you have tragic consequences when people don't buckle up.
Now, how much of a focal point is that going to be for officers? And I asked this because a couple weeks ago I was driving through Maple Grove. There's a called third strike, and Cervelli takes a called third strike, and a squad car passed alongside of me. And the officer tugged at her shoulder belt, the seat belt,
right,
as if to say, "Are you wearing yours?" And I always do.
Yep.
But I'm wondering whether that's going to be more of a focal point here as we go through the holiday weekend.
Well, it certainly is. We just see a tragic number of fatal crashes that would not have ended that way had people worn seatbelts. So with the primary seatbelt law, that's what the troopers and officers will be looking for.
And strike one now to the number 9 hitter, Kevin Russo.
What do people need to know to stay out of trouble and stay safe?
Well, it's really pretty simple. We tell people the same 4 things. Don't drink and drive. Pay attention when you're driving. Wear your seatbelt and drive the speed limit. If we all do that, we could eliminate a lot of these fatal crashes.
You know, and we had so many of them in April involving teenagers, and my kids are teenage age. I don't have to ask them because they have seen their mother and I always buckle up. But I would imagine as we try to get teenage drivers used to putting on a seatbelt, some of that falls with the parents and the example they set, isn't it?
Absolutely. It all begins at home. Law enforcement tries to do its part, but really it begins with the parents showing it or providing a good example for their children.
Bouncer to short. Hardy charges it, picks it off knee level, and throws it chest level. 2 down. So 6 in a row sent down by Blackburn after getting that key double play to get out of the first inning.
And a designated driver, very important.
Absolutely. We really ask people to plan ahead for those designated drivers. If you're going to go out, plan ahead to get a safe ride home, because once you get drinking, that's when the judgment sometimes goes out the window.
There's a lot of cabs around that can take you home, too, if you don't have a designated driver.
Absolutely.
Do you have any sense, is there a survey out there that suggests what percentage of people regularly use their seatbelt? Fall back to the screen.
Well, our most recent statistics show that about over 90% of the people buckle up, but that still leaves at 10%, and in the outstate areas, it's a little higher rate of people that don't wear seatbelts. So we're making good progress, but we still have a little bit to go, and we want to get that last 10% to wear their seatbelts at all times.
1 strike to Jeter, and another ground ball to short. Hardy makes this play. It's another 1-2-3 inning, and our thanks to Eric Roski of the Minnesota State Patrol. Folks, buckle up, stay safe this holiday weekend.
Lieutenant, thank you.
Thank you.
The short code 234-234. Jason Kubel leading the pack. Boy, what a great night for my pick the stick winner. An RBI double and a run scored.
So far, so good.
Bauer, Morneau, and Thome facing Vasquez here in the third. We'll see if the Twins can keep adding on to that lead Bert was talking about. This one to left field. Russo is there to catch the liner for the first out. And that'll bring up Justin Morneau. I want to pass along our condolences to the family and many friends of longtime Twin City sportscaster Tony Parker. Got word right before game tonight that Tony passed away today. And Tony was a legendary face and voice in this market. First at the Channel 9 for many, many years. Finished his TV career, I think, with Channel 4 several years ago. And Tony was a great guy, and we're very sorry to hear of his passing. To the right field corner. Off the base of the wall. Swisher plays the carom well. Here's the throw to second. Morneau is in with a double. And it is the fourth double for the Twins already tonight against Javier Vasquez.
You know, in yesterday's ball game, Mark Teixeira was going for second, and he ended up sliding on the outfield slide, trying to get that bag, second base bag, with his left hand. And right here, Justin Morneau hitting the ball sharply, and Swisher does a good job of getting over there and playing the carom. But right here, Justin's thinking, you know what, Jerry White, I'm going for two right here. And then he slides directly into the bag and over the bag. So a little difference right there between Teixeira's slide and Justin's slide here in this ball game.
Here's Jim Thome. Thome hit a blistering line drive caught by Teixeira to end the first inning. Twins have had some very good swings and very good at bats against Javier Vasquez.
Take a look at Teixeira's slide yesterday. This coming in the ninth inning. And it was Michael Kadire who made a great throw to J.J. Hardy. He picked it right there, but you see Teixeira sliding on the outfield side, and his goal was to touch it with the left hand. And that's where he ended up getting tagged out. And he ended up credited with a single. But right there, Justin went directly into the bag.
3-0, first base open, Kadire on deck. You know, and the fact that Teixeira was thrown out at second base was reason number one why all the nonsense that followed regarding Rivera getting ready and Pettit and all of that, because it was the throw out at second was 2 pitches after the Swisher home run. If Teixeira had been called safe at second, or if he had stayed at first, none of what followed would have followed. So a 4-pitch walk to Thome, and Kadire comes up with 1 out and 2 on. Time to vote for the 2010 All-Star teams that will be playing the Midsummer Classic in Anaheim. You can vote for all the Twins and the rest of your favorite major leaguers online at twinsbaseball.com. Vote early, vote often, and help the Twins be well represented in Anaheim. Twinsbaseball.com, where Twins baseball is always on. Here's Kadire. Lifted a double to right center field to start the second inning, and then later scored.
Well, you know, Dick, going back to what happened yesterday with Rivera not ready to come in, so Andy Pettit went out and threw his 8 pitches, and then Joe Girardi ended up taking him out, allowing Rivera to throw more pitches in that bullpen during that time. That's happened before in baseball. But if they want to speed up baseball like Ron Gardenhire is talking about, make it to where if that starter goes out there, or a reliever, whoever it was, it just so happened to be the starter, Andy Pettit, he has to face at least one hitter. He's already thrown 8 pitches. He's already warmed up, so he has to face at least one hitter. And then if Joe Girardi makes a change, then he makes a change. But as long as you touch that mound and you throw a ball home, you have to face at least one hitter. And that would help speed up the game.
Much like if you bring a relief pitcher and they have to face one hitter before you can change them, right?
Right.
And that was my contention last night. The Twins have been written up for slow play when, in fact, they're one of the fastest teams out there.
I can't believe that.
And this is just a blatant example of a delay of game tactic that, you're right, has been used for 125 years. 1-2 to Kadire. Swing and a miss, and a big strikeout for Vasquez, and that'll give Kubel a chance.
Vasquez picking up his first strikeout of the ball game. Found a little extra right there and went fastball away and looked like it had some good movement on it. Kadire swinging through it. Cervelli sitting outside and Kadire swinging through that fastball.
Kubel with a double, driving in a run. He later scored a run. And that's where we're at, 3-0. Kubel driving in his 23rd run of the season. Big swing on a pitch left up, and it's fouled straight back.
You know, everybody knows we haven't had a lot of success against the New York Yankees. And Dick, you mentioned golf earlier. We played in Harmon Killer's golf tournament. And, you know, you play your home course, and there's always one or two holes at your home course that you say, you know, I always have trouble with this hole. And so there's that little bit of a negative thought before you even tee off and look at the hole. There's that negative thought, and I think that's what the Twins are running through with the New York Yankee organization. They've just run into a bad hole, and you need good things to happen. You need to birdie it a couple times before you can get that negative thought out of your mind.
High fly to deep right field. Swisher going back, and he has room on the edge of the track.
And Swisher doesn't know how many outs, but he had a really good throw back toward the infield.
Wow, very nice. 2 left on. It's 3-0. There's the Grand Casino story of the game.
Well, the Twins scored 1 in the first on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Justin Morneau, then 2 in the second. RBI double by Jason Kubel, and then the double play turned by Teixeira. I mean, great double play, but the Twins scored 2 in that inning. And Nick Blackburn so far 6 ground ball outs of the 9 outs he's been asked to get.
Missing ball 1. It'll be Gardner, Teixeira, and Rodriguez. I want to follow up your discussion about where the Twins are, and they've got that tough hole, using a golf reference. On the other side of the coin, here are the Yankees, and it seems like they catch a break when they need it. They get the big hit when they need it. And did anybody think that they weren't going to score the next run after the Twins hit into a double play in the 8th inning? I think, isn't there, as negative as the thoughts might be for the Twins with that tough hole coming up, They're the Yankees, and they have to feel just as positively that something is going to break their way.
Yeah, they're looking at a par 5 that's probably about 420 yards, and they know they're going to birdie.
Right.
You know, that's what their thoughts are against the Minnesota Twin organization right now.
2-1.
So the Twins have to build some trees on that par 5 that they can hit into.
Gardner slaps a single to left field to lead off the 4th inning. Second Yankee leadoff hit. Jeter singled to start the first. You can send us a question or a comment at carsoup.com/baseball. Leon England from Keene, Minnesota, wondering how infielders know whether to play in or back, and who tells them what to do and when to do it.
Well, you can see, you know, Teixeira's up. Teixeira's up. He's not going to bunt. So Casilla at third base. He's going to play back a little bit, give him the line, because Blackburn's not an overpowering pitcher. He's going to have a tendency more to pull that ball. So Casilla's going to switch over maybe a little bit because J.J. Hardy is playing pretty much up the middle. And that kind of helps, you know, the ground being covered right there by the left side of the infield. And Hudson playing a deep second base. They're looking for the double play ball right here.
As was the case in the first inning, Teixeira's had great success against Blackburn as in a hitter's count, 2-0. And now 3-0. Teixeira singled sharply against Blackburn in the first. The Yankees had runners at first and third, one out, and then Blackburn got the double play ball off the bat of Rodriguez.
Yeah, he fell behind 3-0, came in with a fastball, which Teixeira took. And then the 3-1 pitch got the base hit.
Popped him up on a 3-0 pitch. Span comes in. And a big swing by Teixeira on 3-0 on a pitch that was down and away from him.
Yeah, not the green light pitch you'd like to swing at.
And our trivia question this evening: who are the 3 active players with 2,000 hits, 200 home runs, and 300 stolen bases? I think 2 of them are here.
I know this guy at the plate. He's 1 stolen base short of the 300 stolen bases.
Okay. Rodriguez hit the chopper up the middle. Hardy fielded it near the second base bag, stepped on the bag, and threw to first to end the top of the first. And now fouled over the Twins dugout.
Well, of course, Derek Jeter is 1.
And I thought Rodriguez had the stolen bases.
He's at 299. See, those guys in a truck are trying to trick us.
Vladimir Guerrero.
How about Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yeah, there's another one.
Speaking about Guerrero, he's been red hot for the Texas Rangers.
Fly ball to shallow right field. You know, who would have thought, with Cuddyer making the catch, who would have thought that if the Angels were going to miss anybody, it would be Guerrero. Everyone thought that, well, they're really going to miss Sean Figgins signing with Seattle, but it's Guerrero with the Rangers that has really been the most hurtful non-signing for the Angels.
And he's went to Texas and put them in first place right now, and the Angels just trying to get back to 500. Now, we have not seen Brett Gardner try to steal a base. He has 17 stolen bases in 19 attempts. Now, because of maybe Teixeira and Rodriguez up. Now, keep an eye right here on Gardner. Blackburn very quick home, and only one person has tried stealing against Blackburn, and Joe Mauer threw him out.
And there he goes. No, he stops. And Bauer throws behind him and throws it down the line. And Gardner will go to second base. Bauer threw behind Cano, and it turned out he threw behind Morneau, too.
Well, Mauer will get an error on that errant throw right there. His second error of the year. And for the Twins, only their 10th. And this is the Twins' 47th game. Always hard right here. It's trying to throw behind Cano. And then just ball going down the right field line. Cuddyer has to come get it. And Gardner doesn't get in the scoring position.
1-0 to Cano. Down low, 2-0. In last night's game, the Twins did not turn a double play. Should have been turned. It wasn't, and it cost the Twins a run. And so we'll see whether this error with 2 outs in the inning leads to anything for New York. 3-0.
You know, Dick, I always took pride in trying to get out of innings like this as a pitcher, because as a pitcher like Blackburn, he's not a strikeout pitcher. He's a guy that relies on his defense to make great plays for him. And when one of your teammates make an error like Joe did right there, I always took it upon myself to get out of this inning, because I feel, okay, I did my job on picking up Joe Mauer. And that's the personal pride that you should have, is pick up your teammates, and that's a game of baseball. It's a team game.
3-0 to Cano. And a strike on the outside corner. Remember, Teixeira on 3-0 went after a similar pitch to the one that Blackburn just delivered and lifted the lazy fly to center. And 1 to Cano. And there's a base hit, and it'll lead to a Yankee run. Span scoops it up. Cano delivers a 2-out single, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, Blackburn just came again. He's a contact type pitcher. He fell behind 3-1, and then right there, Cano, a very good hitter. He came in 5th in the American League and hitting behind Joe Mauer 4th, hitting at 339. Does a good job of just lining that ball over the head of J.J. Hardy. And Cano picking up his 29th RBI of the year as Gardner scores.
Fox Tracks brought to you by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. Now Swisher, who hit the game-winning home run in the 9th inning last night. Inside a ball. Swisher hit his home run against John Roush, the Twins closer, last night. And after the game, Roush stood there and faced the music, if you will. He took all the reporters' questions. Here's Rick Anderson to the mound. And when you're 6'11" and you're a stand-up guy, that tends to get noticed. He took all the questions and talked about how disappointed he was in the execution of the pitch that ended up costing the Twins the ball game.
Well, he said it was his 4th pitch, best pitch, and that's what upset him.
Minnesota Twins youth training camps are back in 2010, and they include the chance to play at Target Field. Training camp's mission is to bring quality baseball and softball instruction to the kids in Twins territory. For all the dates and locations, log on today to twinsbaseball.com and register for a Twins training camp near you.
Oh, Rick Anderson, a pitching coach, going out there and reminding maybe Blackburn of something that he saw from the dugout. And Andy's usually pretty good at his visits out to the mound to get that pitcher out of the inning.
This one skips by Hudson. Cano will hesitate and then try for third base, and he'll reach. And now the Yankees have a pair of 2-out hits. And we'll get Miranda to the plate with the tying run at first.
Let's take a look at the location. Mauer sitting down and away. And a pitch just up a little bit, and Swisher hitting it up the middle. You know, you're facing a very good hitting ball club. Only the Kansas City Royals, believe it or not, are leading the American League in hitting 280 as a ball club. Yankees hitting 277. Twins are 3rd, hitting at 273. Yes, I said it right. Kansas City is leading.
Well, Billy Butler is just having a fantastic year for the Royals. Miranda with 2 outs. And down low, ball 1.
But again, in Kansas City, it's the pitching staff again. I mean, they're last in the American League as far as combined ERA.
There's the sign of some hope, though. Luke Hochevar's pitched a little bit better, and
Gil Mesh is pitching better. Greinke, of course.
You expect him to pitch well. See if Blackburn can get the Twins off the field here in the 4th inning. And there's a roller that should do the trick. Two two-out hits mean it's an earned run, and only one for the Yankees, and the Twins still lead by 2. Can that be? Every seat's filled. It's paid attendance. There's some comp tickets that are out there for all the games here at Target Field. So the sellout totals are different from night to night. There's standing room seats here as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking down the left field line, Dick, and you know you have the Budweiser deck up there, but then underneath the numbers that have been retired, a lot of people standing right there on the rails.
Sharp ground ball hit right at Derek Jeter, and J.J. Hardy is retired. You know, sometimes Saturday, as incredible as this sounds, we'll still be in the month of May, but sometime Saturday, the 1 millionth fan is going to come through the turnstiles here at this ballpark. There have been 11 seasons in Twins history where they did not draw 1 million fans, and this year in this beautiful new ballpark, the Twins are going to draw 1 million fans in the first 2 months.
I'll tell you what, they're coming out to see a very good ball club play. They're coming out to see this new beautiful ballpark. But remember, in 1988, the Twins were the first American League team to draw over 3 million people. So you put a good product on the field along with this stadium, the fans will come out. If you build it, they will come.
They have come, haven't they? 1-1 to Casilla.
Remember that sign at the Metrodome that was always up there in left field, high left field? If you build it, they will come. Well, they have come.
The whisper in the cornfield of Iowa was right, wasn't it? 1-2. Casilla ripped one down the right field line, intercepted by Teixeira for a big double play for the Yankees in the second. Checked his swing, 2-2. You know, Lou Nanne, the former Minnesota North Star broadcaster executive, stopped by a couple innings ago, and he's here tonight. And I said, what do you think of the ballpark? And he says it's beyond belief, breathtaking. And it really is for those of you who haven't been here yet. Bouncer right side. Cano calls for it. Throws Casilla out, 2 down. Denard Span will hit with 2 outs in the 4th. I've got Jeter on my list.
Yep. Ken Griffey Jr. on my list.
And the answers are Derek Jeter.
Oh, Bobby Abreu. Ken Griffey Jr.'s not on there. Not enough stolen bases. I thought he stole a lot of bases when he was younger.
He did against the Twins. Ball 1 to Span. cracked a double into the right field corner his last time up.
Well, you keep forgetting about Bobby Abreu. You don't realize what a great career he's put together.
2-0.
Abreu with the Angels. We'll see them later this summer. He went out there, opened up the season against the Angels, won 3 or 4 out there.
Angel team that's struggling to get back to the 500 mark. Foul back. I'm curious to see the Ranger ball club that's going to start a series here tomorrow night. It's been a very interesting season for the Rangers. Leading the West by 2 games beginning play today. Span fouls it again, 2-2. Vasquez has struggled in most of his innings. He's got a chance here in the 4th for a 1-2-3 inning. He hasn't faced fewer than 5 batters in an inning yet. Another ground ball. 3 of them in the inning. Vasquez has his first 1-2-3 inning. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. Let's check out the crowd through the first inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game and why. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Yankees at home in a while.
A long time.
And why the monkey?
Oh, we got the monkey at the Mall of America. We were going to get a bear at the Build-A-Bear there. I decided the monkey would be better. I actually was thinking about the Yankees at the time, and I thought, well, we'll get the Yankees off our back with this monkey.
Monkey might be the trick bird. How about that? What do you think?
Hey, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Right now, the Twins leading 3-1, and very clever sign. Thank you very much. And you are hereby circled.
Cervelli leading things off, taking a strike, and now a busted bat. And a little fly ball into center that drops for a hit. The splintered end of the bat nearly impaled somebody in the Yankee dugout. It went right past the on-deck hitter Kevin Russo. And it almost got Brett Gardner.
We see right off the end of the bat the barrel flying behind him into the dugout. Tony Pena right there, the bench coach ducking. But it's kind of a bloop base hit for Cervelli, getting his first hit. And the hits are tied at 6 apiece.
To Morneau, and he'll go to the bag, a double play. So Cervelli doesn't hit his ball hard, and he gets a base hit. Russo hits it hard into a double play.
That's kind of what Casilla did, that number 9 hitter for the Twins. He did the same thing. Hit the ball sharply at the first baseman. Casilla at Teixeira. And right here, Russo, that inside-out swing right at Justin. And Cervelli has no place to go, but back to the dugout.
So 2 down quickly in the 5th, and here's Jeter. Down and away, ball 1. Blackburn has just 1 strikeout. And Jeter gets his second hit. This one running toward the gap, but Span cuts it off. And it's a 2-out single here in the 5th. Here's tonight's Cabot Woodstein legendary performance. On this date in 1968, Major League Baseball expands outside the confines of the United States when the National League announces the addition of Montreal to the league. San Diego's also awarded an expansion team. Well, okay, Montreal and San Diego brought into the National League. But at some point that year, the announcement had to be made about the Seattle Pilots and Kansas City Royals, because they started in 1969 too. Just not today. They didn't make that announcement today. You missed.
Maybe they'll make it tomorrow.
That could be. Of course, when you expand, or at least back then you had to, there wasn't interleague play. You had to add 2 teams to each league, so they'd have somebody to play. 1-0 to Gardner. Mauer sets up inside, and Blackburn hits the target, but it's called ball 2. He's done that a number of times tonight, where Mauer set up right there. Blackburn has just missed getting the inside corner.
Well, Scott Berry behind the plate tonight. I think the last couple of days we've seen that pitch get called. Now that tells me as a pitcher, if Berry's not going to give me a little bit on the inside like that, how much will he give me away? So now I'll try to work that ball away. I'll go in for a purpose, but then I'll go away if he gives me 2 or 3 inches off that plate. See where Mauer sits this time. Pretty much right down the middle. Give me a good pitch, and it's a strike. Now, Yankees have 7 hits, all singles. Twins have 6, 4 doubles and a couple singles.
Three hits in the 4th inning, 2 here in the 5th against Blackburn. 2-1 to Gardner. 3-1 with Blackburn nemesis Mark Teixeira on deck. Blackburn knows he doesn't want anything to swell out of control here. So he'd love to bear down and get Gardner and have Teixeira lead off the 6th inning. Three and 2.
Not a bad pitch to take right there, but because now Jeter having a conversation with Mick Callagher at first base. He'll be taken off. Justin will be playing behind Derek Jeter.
Morneau doing a little groundskeeping, trying to smooth out the base path in case Gardner hits a ground ball to him. And instead, Blackburn snags a line drive. And it's a scoreless 5th. in the Twin Cities area from this beautiful ballpark. It is our privilege to be bringing you Twins baseball here tonight. Orlando Hudson, Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau to hit for the Twins in the 5th. Vasquez has set down 5 men in a row, hasn't given up a run since the 2nd.
And you see it from veteran pitchers like that. You have to get them early, and the Twins able to put 3 runs on the board over the first 2 innings. Now Vasquez settling down a little bit. Vasquez making his 393rd Major League start.
Foul back, 1-1.
Vasquez with 145 Major League wins, 143 losses. He's pitched over 2,500 innings at the Major League level. He has almost 2,300 strikeouts.
Inside, 2-1. Scott Berry picking up a loose baseball near the Yankee on deck circle. Foul down the left field line, 2-2.
Smiles all around.
Vasquez struggled in the first inning, struggled in the 2nd and 3rd. Let's hope to see him sweat a little bit here in the 5th. Check swing, 3-2. Hudson drawing the key walk in the first inning. Vasquez had retired Span. Hudson walked, and then the Twins got a base hit and sacrifice fly to get the first run of the game. Bauer on deck.
Yeah, the 6th 3-ball count for Vasquez in this ball game.
That's to right center field and down for a hit. It's going to run the gap. At least 2 for Hudson. A leadoff triple for Orlando Hudson here in the 5th.
You know, with the Twins not hitting the long ball, they are hitting the extra baseballs here tonight. 4 doubles, and right here on a 3-2 pitch, good swing right here by Hudson, splitting that gap in right center field, going all to the wall. The ball falls, slowing down a little bit, and Hudson chugging all the way over to 3rd with his 2nd triple of the year.
So Hudson at 3rd, nobody out. Bauer to the plate. And the Yankees look like they're going to have the infield in here.
Yeah, it's still one of the most exciting plays, I think, for a fan to see, is that ball hitting the gap, and then a guy like a Speedy Hudson, you know, going from 1st to 2nd and then having a slide into 3rd. A lot of the fans here at Target Field on their feet watching Hudson get that triple.
Bauer with a solid single to left and a line drive caught by the left fielder Russo so far tonight. Down and in, ball 1. 80 pitches for Vasquez, 45 strikes. See the Yankee outfield playing Mauer to hit the ball to the opposite field. Oh, outside corner, 1-1. That's what you were talking about, I bet, right there. He said, well, if he's not going to give the inside corner a little in off the inside edge, maybe he'll give some away.
There it is right there, because where he sits inside, and he kind of guesses on that outer half of the plate where you can see where Scott Berry is. He's looking directly over the middle part of the plate. And that's where Cervelli's sitting right now.
Mauer with a big swing and a foul, 1-2.
And again, you see Cervelli, a catcher that likes to really move his whole body into that position with his feet spread out.
Newly reacquired Chad Gaudin in the Yankee bullpen.
You know, Tony Pena, the bench coach, was a catcher, very good catcher. He did a lot what Cervelli does, is really moves in and out in behind home play. There's Tony Pena. Taught me in Pittsburgh. Great career.
You said you'd like that of your catchers, right?
I wanted my catchers to move because I had a tendency to throw to the middle of their chest protector. Don't sit right in the middle and move your glove left or right. I want your body to move.
1-2 to Mauer. A pitch up, fouled it back.
Hey, Ron Coomer, can you feel? I mean, Cervelli, he really gets in there. Can you feel as a hitter him, moving in there?
You definitely can. I would not suggest anybody trying to peek back there. But as a hitter, when you feel, especially when a guy moves as much as Cervelli, you can definitely tell when he gets up underneath you, like the third pitch to Mauer where he really came in. If Joe can feel him come up underneath him, then sometimes you can look in and look to turn on him.
Another 1-2 to Mauer. Then there's the old catcher's trick about tapping your glove away from your body inside and then setting up outside.
Right, you tap it inside, right. Like you probably did right there. Kind of moved in and then did the old Tony Pena, where he's really spread out and then sitting down and away, giving you a good low target.
The one thing you can look for, guys, especially in this count, if the ball's away, watching the outfielders sometimes take a step one way or the other to see if the ball's going to be away. Maybe the center fielder takes a step towards left center.
And an off-speed pitch. Mauer strikes out. So Hudson, for the time being, still at third base, and we'll see how aggressively the Yankees go after Morneau here.
Well, Cervelli again sitting down and away, and this time that pitch down and away, and Joe swinging at maybe ball 4.
Infield still in, and here comes Dave Island, the pitching coach, and they may be discussing strategy here and what Vasquez wants to do with first and second base open, and Morneau in the box.
Well, numbers don't lie. Again, Justin 15 for 42 lifetime against Vasquez, and I'm sure Island's out there saying, you know what, hopefully it's not, hey, if you want to pitch to him, don't give him anything too good to hit. You might as well walk him and look for the double play.
Don't miss your chance to meet one of the great men in the history of the game of baseball, Harmon Killebrew. Head over to Gander Mountain in Blaine, Sunday, June 13th from 11 a.m. to noon. You can visit foxsportsnorth.com for details on how you can meet one of the greatest Twins players of all time.
One of the classiest individuals of all time. And they're going to go ahead and walk him.
To set up the double play and going after Tony here. So Morneau, who didn't reach first base last night, has a sacrifice fly, double, and intentional walk in 3 plate appearances here tonight. Tampa Bay Rays were swept at home by Boston, but they beat the White Sox 5-1 tonight. White Sox falling now 7 games below 500. Third walk issued by Vasquez, but this one obviously an intentional walk, and Tomey will come up. Tomey's ripped the ball once to Teixeira and then drawn a walk himself.
This would be a nice place for a blast right here off the bat of Jim Tomey.
Tomey 6 for 23 against Vasquez with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. All this talk about how the ball isn't carrying here. Remember Tomey's last home run here. He hit a fly ball to left center field, and no one, including Jim Tomey, thought the ball was going out. And it kept carrying and kept carrying until it went out. 1-0 to Tomey. Now a strike. So under the right conditions here, the ball will carry. We just haven't seen those conditions frequently enough for the hitters. 1-1 with Vasquez trying to pitch around a leadoff triple. And last night in the 8th inning, the Twins had runners at first and third, nobody out. And the Yankees got out of it, getting Mauer to bounce into the big double play. Two and one. Ripped to right. Swisher is there. Tagging and scoring is Hudson. And Thome drives in a run with a sacrifice fly to make it 4-1.
Yeah, all you wanted Jim Thome to do is get the ball airborne right there, because he's a guy that, you know, Joe Girardi and the Yankees were hoping would hit on the ground because of his lack of speed, maybe turning a double play. But instead, Thome gets a sacrifice fly, driving in his 17th run, and the Twins get the run back that the Yankees scored in the 4th and now have a 3-run lead.
Here's Kadire, a double and a strikeout. Vasquez got him to strike out in a key spot. First and second, one out in the 3rd inning. Strike on the outside corner. Kadire's double started a 2-run 2nd inning. Way out in front. The curveball. 0-2. Kadire on a high fastball his last time up. One and two. Ripped to right field, and Swisher is there to catch the liner. So a couple of well-hit balls in the inning. Hudson's leadoff triple leads to another Twins run. Well, Jim Thome with a sacrifice fly. 2 of the 4 Twins runs have scored on sacrifice flies. And it's a 3-run lead as we go to the 6th inning. Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Cano facing Nick Blackburn. Deep to right center field. And off the warning track. Teixeira has a first pitch double to start the 6th inning. All the more reason why it was critically important that Blackburn get Gardner, because Teixeira continues to have good swings against Nick Blackburn.
Yeah, it's a 4th inning in 6 innings now that the Yankees have been able to get their leadoff hitter on. Sinker down and away. Teixeira with that uppercut swing finds that gap. Span waits for it to come down. And Teixeira gets his 2nd hit on his 9th double.
Alex Rodriguez bounced into a double play and hit a fly ball to right. 71 pitches for Blackburn. Just missing the outside corner. The Yankees in the middle inning starting to pick up some hits here against Blackburn.
Yeah, that was the first extra base hit off of Blackie.
6 hits in the last 11 at bats for New York. And now 2-0 to Rodriguez. There's the outside corner, 2-1.
You see Blackburn's most pitches he threw, 19 in the 4th. This will be number 75 in the ball game.
3-1 with Cano on deck. Little pop-up short center. In fact, it's Hudson making the catch, and Rodriguez continues to be stymied by Nick Blackburn. It's funny, you got a third-place hitter who's going to get a hit or hit the ball hard every time up, it seems, against Blackburn, and a guy who's a very good hitter can't seem to duplicate that.
Yeah, that's a big out right there.
One down, and here's Cano. Cano with a big 2-out hit in the 4th, driving in a run. The Yankees got 3 singles and a run in the 4th, and despite the fact that the rally was aided by a Joe Mauer error, the run is an earned run.
Yeah, Blackburn did a good job of damage control in that 4th inning.
That's a fair ball, and Cano has a hit that's going to score a run. And the Yankees will have a pair of extra base hits. Cano stopping at second with a double. So it's 4-2, and the tying run will come to the plate, and Nick Swisher.
Yeah, Cano picking up both RBIs in the ball game so far for the Yankees. Looked like a breaking ball, and Cano again a very good hitter, hitting that ball right down the first base line. Morneau playing off the line a little bit. And you can see that ball hugging the line all the way down the center, down the right field corner. Teixeira scores, and Cano now with 30 runs driven in on the year.
Swisher singled in the 4th. Teixeira, switch hitter, has had success against Blackburn. Cano has a couple of hits against him. You look at the Yankee lineup, and only Jeter among right-handed batters has had really good swings. Ron Coomer, why is that?
Well, you look at the way Blackie is thrown, all the right-handers, except for the pitch to Jeter that he shot through the middle, was up a little bit. The righties are having a tough time picking up the 2-seamer of Blackburn. The problem, though, is that pitch down in the zone is right in the wheelhouse of most left-handers. You saw that with Teixeira and Cano. And now it's going to be important that he doesn't throw that ball down and in that 2-seamer and leave it in the middle to Swisher. We saw yesterday what he can do with it.
Blackburn had a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings in innings 2 and 3. He's having a tough time retiring back-to-back batters here. Sliced foul, and it's 1-2.
Well, Blackburn last year, he worked 205 innings. First time he worked over 200 innings in a season. But he did give up 240 hits, the most hits allowed by an American League pitcher. So, Blackburn's going to give up more hits. than innings pitched. Coming into the ball game, 64 hits in 54 innings pitched. Right now, 9 hits allowed in 6 1/3 innings.
Got him looking. And Blackburn, who'd been trying to hit that inside corner all night long, finally clipped it.
Well, Rodriguez was a big out. And here, Nick Swisher, a big out. That fastball had plenty of the plate. And Blackburn picks up his second strikeout.
How many times have we seen him go in there and just miss, and he picked a good spot to finally hit it. 2 down, and here's Miranda. A couple of ground balls to Hudson so far for Juan Miranda. Yankees actually out hitting the Twins 9-7. Twins have a 2-run lead. Changeup missing low, 1-1. Bouncer to the right side. Morneau, the heel of his glove, runs to the bag to end the inning. Pair of doubles, a Yankee run, but the Twins still lead by 2.
For the Coors Light freeze camp. Remember, Mark Teixeira in the first inning, or the second inning, off the bat of Jim Thome getting that line drive, and then Teixeira again acted at it. Right there, a nice turn of a double play, stepping on the bag. And J.J. Hardy getting tagged out. Our Coors Light freeze camp.
And Blackburn and Bauer talking the 6th inning over. Maybe looking ahead to the 7th. Kubel, Hardy, and Casilla will hit here in the Twins' 6th inning. And ball 1. Kubel with an RBI double and a run scored. Then he hit a fly ball to right in the 3rd. One and one.
You know, that run that the Twins got in the bottom of the 5th inning, last inning, very important, because this Yankee ball club, they're not going to give up. Very balanced lineup, just like the Twins. And instead of a 4-3 game, now it's a 3-2 game. Now it's a 4-2 game. Twins would like to get that run back that the Yankees got in the top of the 6th.
2-1. And Vasquez will step off the rubber. A high drive to right field. And the homerless streak is over. For the first time in 9 games and the first time in this homestand, Twins fans have seen their team hit a home run, and it's time for the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
And they said this ballpark was a pitcher's ballpark. My goodness. I mean, if you leave a breaking ball up like this, good things for the Twins are going to happen. And Kubel hitting a solo home run leading off here the 6th inning. His 4th of the year. And just like that, the Twins did get that run back that the Yankees got in the top of the inning.
Pretty good night for Kubel with an RBI double and a run scored. And now a home run. Ball 1 to J.J. Hardy, and now strike 1. And poked foul off the bat of Hardy, who singled in the 2nd and bounced to short in the 4th. A tall fly ball to deep right field, but plenty of room out there, and Swisher on the edge of the track makes the catch, 1 away. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Internet.
Well, Vasquez at 91, Nick Blackburn at 92. Vasquez with 105 pitches in 5 1/3 innings, and Nick Blackburn through 6 has thrown 85.
Here's Casilla. Couple of ground balls, one hit extremely hard, both of them going to the right side. Showing bunt, taking ball 1. You know, this thing the Twins have had with the Yankees, and it's gone on for a number of years now, reminds me of the thing the Royals had with the Yankees, particularly come playoff time in the late 70s. Now, the economics of the game were a whole lot different back then, but it seemed like every year in the playoffs, the Royals would have a very good team, and they'd face the Yankees, who had a very good team, and it was a great series, but the Yankees always won. 2-0. Now, I don't remember whether the Yankee dominance over Kansas City extended to the regular season or not, but it seemed like every year the Yankees would edge the Royals in the playoffs until 1980, when the Royals beat the Yankees to get to the World Series. And of course, that's the hope around these parts, is that at some point the Twins will get to the playoffs, face the Yankees, beat them, and eventually get to the World Series.
You know, you're talking about the New York Yankees, 27 World Championship clubs. They've been to postseason so many times, and you know, it seems like every time you want to get to the World Series, you have to get through the Yankees.
2-2 to Casilla. And another foul. Again, Nick Punto expected to be the 3rd baseman tomorrow night as the Rangers series opens up. 2-2. And another foul by Casilla.
Ron Coomer, did you see a jet stream?
There's still a vapor trail from the last one. You know, there's been a lot made of the home runs or lack of. You know, and we've heard it a lot today, even on sports talk radio, of a bunch of people just kind of flapping to me as a player. And you look at the Twins and the way they swing the bats. Keeping the ball in the middle of the field is what they've always wanted to do. The opposing teams have hit balls down the line, and that's why they've hit more home runs. To me, though, the ballpark is going to play different each day. And right now, when you look at the flags in right field and the lack of wind that's blowing around the stadium, and Warner ball's going to carry. We pulled one, and that ball went about 450 feet. I don't think there's a park in the league going to keep that one in there.
Right. Vasquez is taken out of the game. He went through the Twins lineup 3 times, gave up 5 runs, and it'll be Chan Ho Park pitching next for New York. They're located in Apple Valley, Roseville, and Minnetonka, or come by the beautiful, majestic Athletic Twins clubhouse here at Target Field. It's open 7 days a week and stocked full of the latest Twins apparel and merchandise.
Well, Chan Ho Park coming out of the bullpen of the Yankees. He started the season on a disabled list. Sprained right hamstring, activated on May 17th, making his 7th appearance on the year. 10 innings of work so far. He's allowed 15 hits, 8 earned runs, with no walks and 4 strikeouts. Chan Ho Park last year with the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Phillies played the Yankees in the World Series, and the Yankees ended up beating them.
Span 1 for 3, a double and a couple of ground balls, and he takes low, ball 1. And a strike, 1-1. And a breaking ball over, 1-2.
Chan Ho Park came up with the Dodgers back in 1994, spent 8 seasons there, and now since really 2001 he's gone to numerous clubs. From the Rangers to the Padres to the Mets to the Phillies, now here in New York with the Yankees.
Under the glove of Park, and Span will get a base hit. So we've seen pitchers make a lot of catches on balls hit right up the middle. Andy Pettitte last night a couple of times. Blackburn today. This one ducked under the pitcher's glove.
And the hustle of Span right here gets himself an infield base hit. Park's momentum takes him that way toward first base. He went after it. We see Span hustling down the line, beating it out.
So 2 hits for Span.
Yeah, Twins hits are even now at 9 apiece.
Hudson has scored a couple of runs, walked and scored in the first, led off the 5th with a triple and scored. And that'll slice foul. As Span's batting average creeps up more towards 300, and Hudson's batting average has been above 300 before his 0 for 8 in the first 2 games of this series. Expected to settle somewhere around there. Well, this lineup still looks to be very, very dangerous once some slumping hitters have recovered. And I'll include Jason Kubel in that. Now, Kubel's had a really good night at the plate tonight with a couple of critical extra base hits. And it just lengthens the lineup out. And eventually the belief is this Twins lineup is still going to be able to produce an awful lot of runs.
They sure are.
With or without the home run.
Well, you think of Span. I mean, he hit 300 last year. Hudson, a career 280, 290 hitter. Then you got Mauer, Morneau. Here tonight you have Thome, Kadire. I mean, those guys in that position. Quick throw over by Cervelli, and Span getting back.
One and one to Hudson. Span has stolen 3 bases in this series. Second base twice and third base once. And a chopper to second. Cano has a head-high hop and throws him out. A home run by Jason Kubel, his 4th of the year. The first for the Twins in 9 games, and they've got a 3-run lead.
See you, Johnny.
Connecting one right there, his 4th home run of the year. And Nick Blackburn, 6 very good innings. He's done a couple innings, the 4th and the 6th. A good job of damage control. Allowing only 1 run where he could have given up more.
And Blackburn starting the 7th inning. He'll face Francisco Cervelli. As Twins fans want to look forward to a possible playoff matchup with the Yankees. There's a bouncer to short. Hardy scoops it up and fires. There is this that should be considered heavily beyond the wins and the losses. This is the 6th game and final game of this season series. In all 6, Twins starting pitchers have given the Twins a quality start. They've kept this Yankee lineup, as potent as it is, not under wraps, but under control in all 6 games.
Oh, there's Francisco Liriano's. He pitched very well yesterday. 7 innings, only gave up a couple runs.
Here's Russo, and he takes strike 1.
Saw Scott Baker in that rain delay, or the rain suspended game, 5 shutout innings.
Yeah, so I guess technically that wasn't a quality start, but still, right. Baker was on his way to maybe his best start of the year.
Yeah.
Just off the outside corner, 1-1. Russo hitting 9th. Hit a ball hard his last time up right at Morneau for a double play. Popped up, short center. Long run for Denard Span, and it's Hudson who makes the catch in short center, 2 down. 2 down in the 7th. This current Twins Target Field stand wraps up on Sunday against the Rangers. And if you have a ticket, get to the park early. The first 5,000 fans, 14 and under, will get a cool Denard Span jersey, courtesy of U.S. Bank. For information and to check availability for Twins tickets this season, call 800-33-TWINS. And an important note there, Sunday's game is a 7 o'clock game. It is a Sunday night game. Here's Jeter, 2 hits, 2 singles against Blackburn tonight.
You know, with Dick, we've seen this field right here. I mean, you know, Denard Span, you got to play deep in this field because of the dimensions. 411, 403 straight away. So you need your infielders to go back, and that's what Orlando Hudson has to do. J.J. Hardy has to do that because how deep especially left center, right center, straightaway center, Span has to play very deep.
1 strike to Jeter, and strike 2. 90 pitches for Blackburn, and he perhaps is 1 good pitch away from wrapping up his 7th inning.
Blackburn coming into the ballgame 4-0 over his last 4 starts with an ERA of 2.67, and he's gone 7 innings in all 4 starts or more.
Bouncer to second. Blackburn's 7th inning might be his finest inning. A 1-2-3-7. Don't burn up your wallet. And again, you can vote for the Arby's Value Player of the game. Text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234-234. Some competition here between the starting pitcher and his left fielder. Joe Mauer to start the bottom of the 7th against Chan Ho Park, and he takes strike 1.
Another sellout crowd, 39,087 here tonight.
Mauer singled in the 1st inning. Lined out in the 3rd, struck out in the 5th. 1-1. Blackburn with 7 very impressive innings here tonight. Has a chance perhaps to beat the Yankees twice in 2 tries. Now 3-1.
Well, Chan Ho Park from South Korea, again originally signed by the Dodgers back in 1994. Didn't spend a lot of time in the minor leagues before he came up with the Dodgers.
3-1. And Mauer draws a leadoff walk. And that'll bring up Morneau. Morneau driving in the first run with a sacrifice fly. He doubled in the third, was intentionally walked in the fifth. And Mauer checked at first base. On-base percentage of .490 now for Morneau. He added at .500 earlier in this homestand.
Well, Mauer does have one stolen base, a couple throwovers, but that was third base.
Taken low for ball one. Twins took 3 walks, one of them intentional against Vasquez, and now one here in the 7th against Chan Ho Park. And first 2 games of the series, the Yankees did a nice job. There's a ground ball, base hit right field, and Mauer will hold up at second base. Yankees did a good job pitching to the Twins, forcing them to hit their way on, and the Twins didn't do much of that in games 1 and 2.
And Joe Girardi coming out, signaling to the bullpen.
Going to go out and get his lefty, I believe, Damaso Marte. With Tomey, Kadire, and Kubel up, and the Twins already leading by 3. A pitching change for New York. Been a very good fielding first baseman for a long time.
He really has. Nice double play right here by J.J. Hardy. The ball short hopped right there by Justin Morneau. That ending the first inning with Alex Rodriguez hitting in that double play. Nick Blackburn's had a couple double plays turned behind him. Damaso Marte coming out of the bullpen, making his 18th relief appearance. Situational type of pitcher. Only 9 1/3 innings in his first 17 appearances. He's walked he's walked 6, 1 intentional with 7 strikeouts.
Tomey with runners at first and second and nobody out. Takes wide of the plate, ball 1. Up and in. 2-0.
That's a breaking ball right there. Marte will throw from the side. Ball starting at Jim Thome and then ends up inner half of the plate.
High fastball and a vicious swing and a miss. Two and one. Twins trying to tack on some more runs to the lead here in the seventh. Just up, just away, one or both. It's 3-1 with Kadire on deck.
Let's take a look at Fox Tracks right here. We're on that last pitch, a fastball.
High pop up, chased by Teixeira, and he makes room. And Thome retired on a towering pop-up in foul ground, and Teixeira had just enough room to make the catch.
Yeah, Teixeira did a good job of getting over there as quick as possible so he doesn't have that little railing to deal with. And a situational type pitcher, Marte, faces only one hitter. You see Teixeira getting over there, making the catch, getting the ball back in the infield.
So Marte gets Thome, and Michael Kadire will hit against a new Yankee pitcher.
With the Yankees actually released him in March. Then he signed with the Oakland A's. Made 12 appearances for the Oakland A's. 0-2 with an ERA at 8.83. Oakland designated for him for assignment, and then the Yankees ended up signing him again. So those numbers right there with the Oakland A's, making his first appearance this year for the Yankees.
One of the reasons the Yankees went after Godin was Alfredo Aceves, who's a pretty valuable reliever for him last year. Been on the disabled list, and they're unsure how long he's going to be out.
He's got a bad back, and he's a big part of that bullpen.
So here's Kadire with runners at first and second and one away. And a slider on the outside corner, a strike.
Yeah, Godin, a sinker type pitcher. You saw the slider right there. He pitched for the Yankees last year.
Check the swing, we think. 1-1.
That's that sinker down and in. Godin just 27 years old. Yankees are his sixth different club to pitch for at the major league level. Came up with a raise back in 2003.
Foul straight back. And so often in the month of May, with 2 strikes, Kadyr's gotten one breaking pitch after another on the outside corner or just off the outside corner from a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, I think what we've seen too is Kadyr's hitting a lot of balls to right field because of that. And right there, he just swings through it and is a strikeout victim. So Kadir striking out for the second time in a ball game. Godin comes in and picks up that strikeout. Went with that breaking ball, and this is a pitch that Kadir has been swinging through.
With the addition of Godin yesterday, there was subtraction. And it was another left-handed reliever, Boone Logan. So they don't have an answer now for Kubel, who's already picked up a couple of big extra base hits. It'll be the right-hander Godin against Kubel.
Yeah, the only lefty is Marte in their bullpen.
Up and away, ball 1. Kubel with an RBI double and later a run scored in the second inning, and then a long solo home run to right field leading off the 6th. On the outside corner.
Yeah, that home run by Kubel, his 75th major league home run.
One and one to Jason Kubel. I'm talking with Rick Anderson, Twins pitching coach, today about the other side of this home run dilemma that we're seeing here at Target Field. And he said, you know, he's already talked to his pitchers. And he said, look, take advantage of it. If this is a ballpark where you can consistently pitch hitters away and not be damaged by it, do that. And that's what we're seeing Godin do here to Jason Kubel. Every pitch has been either on the outside corner or outside the strike zone.
Yeah, Kubel didn't like that call right there. Scott Berry will take a look at the box tracks outside, and Cervelli right after that kind of went out to talk to Godin. So you know what? He's given us 3 or 4 inches outside. Let's try it again. Go a little bit further outside.
So it's not the ball game certainly, but you know, this is a critical at bat for the Yankees. They want to stay in the game, and they're pitching Kubel away, away, away. And now back inside, now back outside, and the pitch fouled away. Cervelli doing a little of that what we were talking about before, where you're trying to confuse the hitter if he senses the position of the catcher.
Well, Godin, he took a little bit longer than he anticipated, and you know, Cervelli went in the middle, went outside, then back to the middle, and then he went out again.
Another 2-2 to Kubel. Old foul. They came back inside. Looked like Godin left it right over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, a little slider right there. I mean, Rick Anderson's right. I mean, you know, why try to bust guys inside when the ball jumps down that left field line, or left-handers inside when it jumps down the right field line? Try to make them extend those arms and hopefully hit it to straightaway center, left center, right center, if you can.
And Kubel fights another pitch off. Another 2-2 coming to Jason Kubel, trying to pick up his 3rd hit of the night. A long look in here, and Kubel gets tired of waiting and asks for time. Three and two with Hardy on deck.
Now Mauer and Morneau will take off here on this pitch.
Full count to Kubel. Deep drive to right. There goes another one.
Well, the same thing that hurt Godin in Oakland after giving up 5 home runs in Oakland in 12 appearances. He puts on that Yankee uniform, and he gives up a home run here to Jason Kubel. So a great night at the plate for Jason Kubel. 2 home runs with 5 RBIs in the ballgame. And the fans would like Kubel to come out.
He's about as modest a man as you're going to see, and there it is. A big 3-run home run to make it 8-2. So with Kubel, he went away, and finally made a mistake over the plate. And Kubel hooked it into the basket.
That was a good at-bat. He kept fouling off pitches finally. Godin gave him a pitch that he could uppercut with, and he hit that 3-run home run.
And Hardy strikes out, but not until Jason Kubel gets his 3rd extra base hit, his 2nd home run, and he's doubled the Twins' lead to 6.
Three hits in the ball game. He scored 3 runs and has driven in 5. So a great job also by Kubel, but also by Nick Blackburn. He worked the first 7 innings. Another quality start for Nick Blackburn. And now the bullpen is asked to hopefully get the last 6 outs as Jose Majaras first out of the bullpen.
It'll be Gardner, Teixeira, and Rodriguez facing left-hander Jose Majaras.
Jose making his 10th relief appearance. He's worked 8 innings, given up 9 hits, 2 walks with 5 strikeouts.
This will be a good test for Majaras as he delivers strike 1. Ron Gardenhire asked about him before the game today and said they're going to give him some more critical situations. He's gravitating toward the role that he had last year with the Twins when he was a pretty good late inning guy for the Twins. And Majaras is healthy. He's trimmer.
He had some elbow problems that put him on a disabled list, but the last 2 outings very good for Jose. A big part of that kind of setup role last year. 71 relief appearances, an ERA at 2.34.
Snaps a breaking ball over there. 1-2. Just missed the inside corner with a fastball.
Fastball clocked at 91. He's been clocked as high as 94, 95. That hard slider. He'll mix in a curveball and a changeup. Not many changeups.
Did he go? Strike three. Gardner called out, one away.
Well, hard breaking ball right there, and Gardner trying to hold up, but check swing is called strike three. Now we're sitting down and away.
One down, and here's Teixeira. Teixeira continuing his Hall of Fame career against Nick Blackburn tonight. 2 hits and 3 at bats, but now he's hitting right-handed, his better side against Maharis. Two strikes.
Not a movement from Teixeira. Well, once that pitch starts, okay, then they're set. I think Gary Sheffield had the most movement of a bat that I ever saw.
Saw Carlos Gomez with the Brewers.
Yeah, he was up and down,
wiggling it back and forth a lot.
Like he's chopping wood.
Could be a really good night for the Tampa Bay Rays. They beat the White Sox 5-1. Kansas City beat the Red Sox at Fenway Park 4-3. Now the Yankees are losing. The Rays could get a game back onto their lead in the East. Tap foul. Still 1-2. Royals climbing out of the basement in the American League Central, playing pretty good baseball right now.
Yeah, Boston was playing very well, winning 8 of their last 9. So the Royals beating the Red Sox.
High pop-up, left side of the infield. Casilla calls for it. Out, number 2. He didn't make the Twins 25-man roster, but tonight you can be a member of the Twins territory team. Log on to twinsbaseball.com right now and see how all the benefits of joining the team can make your summer really, really enjoyable. Register today. Start getting the benefits right now. The Twins territory team at twinsbaseball.com. Here's Alex Rodriguez. One and 0. Rodriguez is 0 for 3. Singled in his first at bat in this series, has been held hitless ever since. Until now. A base hit, dropping in front of Kubel, and Rodriguez is aboard with 2 outs in the 8th.
Yeah, not a bad pitch right there. Rodriguez, you take the power away if you get that ball inside, and Rodriguez just softly hit that ball in the left field. So the 10th hit for the Yankees, first one for Rodriguez.
Cano has 2 of them, and his 2 hits have driven in the 2 Yankee runs. An RBI single in the 4th and an RBI double in the 6th. One strike. And congratulations to John Anderson. Slugfest, but the Twins, or the Gophers rather, beat the Hoosiers. They'll play Michigan on Friday in round 2 of the Big Ten baseball tournament. One and one to Cano. And now 2-1. Twins will host the Rangers starting in a series tomorrow. The Yankees go to Cleveland. They'll play a 4-game set, a wraparound series at Progressive Field. The Indians might be without Grady Sizemore for a while now. He's on the disabled list, and they're saying he may need surgery. He's got a bone bruise in his knee, I guess, and it's such that he might need surgery that would end his season. That's why when you hear a bone bruise like the one Joe Mauer had in his heel, and you think, well, it's just a couple of days, it should be fine. But those things can be so tricky, and it might keep Sizemore out for quite a while. Well, Harris trying to get rid of Cano and get the Twins off the field here in the 8th inning. Missing inside.
Now here's a pitcher you basically say right down the middle. Joe Mauer shouldn't move at all. Tried a 2-2 breaking ball right there. No free passes. Twins have that 6-run lead, but again, this is the New York Yankees. Make them earn their way on. Blackburn, no walks in the 7 innings he worked.
Popped up left side.
Well, good things happen.
Hardy out. Kubel in. And Kubel with the call and the catch to end the inning. A good inning for Jose Majares, and the Twins keep that 6-run lead.
And guess who's at the ball game tonight? We got a little basketball influence here. Tom Hanneman, the television voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves, taking a little basketball during the summer. Tom, how beautiful is this place on a night like tonight?
It doesn't get any better than this. A perfect night, 6-run lead over the Yankees, and I'm here with one of my sons watching outdoor baseball. Dick and Bert can attest to the fact there's a generation of young people like my son who have not experienced baseball, Major League Baseball outdoors. And I remember days at Met Stadium like this. It's just the best, Robbie.
Tom, it's good to see you, and we can't wait for basketball season. Timberwolves picking fourth in the draft ladder. It's going to be a lot of fun in October. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you very much, Robbie. Good to see you.
All right, Dick and Bert.
Yeah, good to see Tom here and his family.
One of the best guys in the business, Tom Hannum. A little pop-up off the bat of Casilla. The guy I used to work with, Don Shelby, anchorman for Channel 4, here tonight. I had a chance to visit with him. One and two. And now 2-2 to Casilla. He'll be followed by Span and Hudson. Off the glove of the pitcher, and Casilla will get an infield hit. So the leadoff man is on here in the eighth.
Yeah, Casilla picks up his first hit. Godin tried to leap to get it. Looked like he hit the heel of his glove and popped straight up. Ball hit right back at him. And then once he made contact right there, the ball dying right there. Cano picking it up. And Casilla will take that hit.
Span with a pair of hits. And a very good series against New York. Takes a strike. Right now, Span's hitting at 292. Hudson's hitting at 293. Mauer at 340. Morneau at 377. Pulled foul. And some other hitters, including Kubel, seem to be bringing their averages up on a regular basis. I think this team is going to be just fine in terms of producing runs here if it can stay healthy. 1 and 2.
And I think what we've seen is from the starting staff, very, very consistent. If they can pitch 6 or 7 good innings, that takes a lot of wear and tear out of that bullpen.
1 and 2 to Span. 2 and 2. Well, we talked at the very beginning tonight about how there is no margin for error when you play the Yankees. You make a mistake and they will capitalize. And as far as the starting pitcher goes, Nick Blackburn pitched about as flawless a game. No walks.
Well, his typical game. Doesn't want to walk anybody. He will give up more hits to innings pitched. That's Nick Blackburn, but they're singles. There's one extra base hit off the bat of a Yankee batter against Nick Blackburn. 2. The back-to-back or the doubles in the 6th inning.
Two and 2 to Span. Line foul.
Again, Blackburn looking for his 5th win if the Twins are able to hold on in the month of May. And what's so good about that is he's worked 7 or more innings in every outing, and that's very important.
Span having a long battle here against Godin. Got him with a breaking ball on the outside corner, 1 away.
All the outs that Godin has been able to get so far have been on strikeouts. And that sweeping breaking ball, catching the corner.
Here's Hudson, scored a couple of runs tonight. Strike on the outside corner.
Godin struck out Kadire, then Kubel hit the 3-run home run, then he struck out Hardy. Casilla got the infield base hit, then he struck out Span, so Hudson should get a hit right here.
Hit. 2 strikes. Twins took 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee. If they win this game, that'll bring the homestand record to 3-3. Burnett warming up. 1-2. And the Rangers come in for 3 starting tomorrow night to finish out the homestand. Two and two. Came inside. Hudson got a piece of it. It's not an insignificant thing as you look forward to an American League Central race, and it's been the tightest race in baseball in each of the last 2 years. But with this game, the Twins will be done with both the Yankees and the Red Sox for the rest of the season. Now they've got a bunch of games with Tampa Bay and some more left with Toronto, but the toughest teams typically, just in terms of size of payroll and all that, Red Sox and Yankees, and the Twins will be done with them.
Hudson having the at-bat that Jason Kubel had. He kept fouling off pitches from Godin, and then he hit that 3-run home run.
Another 2-2. Check to swing, 3-2. Lauer on deck. And another foul off the bat of Hudson. Godin has retired 3 batters, but he's thrown 37 pitches.
Yeah, this is a part of the game. The Twins up by 6 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Casilla at first base. A lot of times earlier in the ball game he'd take off right here, but you see Teixeira holding him, playing behind him. Casilla staying at first.
And Hudson works out a walk. Emphasis on the word works, because it was a struggle, a lot of pitches, and he ends up at first base.
That's good at bat right there for Orlando Hudson.
Lauer to the plate, a single and a walk so far. Strike on the inside corner. And a ground ball to short. And it'll be an inning-ending double play. Twins with a 6-run lead, we should say. Stay tuned for the Gander Mountain weekend weather update for Twins territory. while against the Yankees. And how about Jason Kubel's season series against the Yankees?
Well, he hit that grand slam in the only win for the Twins in New York, where they beat the Yankees 6-3. And then here today, 3 hits for Kubel, 2 home runs, a solo home run and a 3-run home run, counting for 5 of the 8 RBIs for the Twins in today's ball game.
Alex Burnett comes in to pitch to the Yankees in the ninth.
Burnett making his 15th relief appearance. Very good earned run average. 22 innings worked out of that bullpen. 19 strikeouts.
Nick Swisher, Juan Miranda, Francisco Cervelli, the scheduled hitters. Down low, ball 1. Hook foul. 1-1. Hawkeye fan here, a Twins fan as well. Up and away, and it's 2-1. As the 8th inning was a good test for Maharis, and you'd have to say he passed it. Gave up a single. An otherwise good inning. Bouncer to second. Burnett just wants to have 3 quick outs and finish off the ball game. 1 away.
Well, good start to it right there. Swisher breaking his bat and hitting that ground ball to Hudson for the first out.
That'll bring up Juan Miranda. Miranda's hit 3 ground balls to the right side of the infield. 2 to Hudson and 1 to Morneau. Foul to the net. If the Twins finish off this ball game and win it, there will be 1 game's difference between the Yankees and the Twins. The Yankees will have a 1 game better record than Minnesota. There's an off-speed pitch for strike 2.
Yeah, good curveball right there by Burnett.
The Twins, if they win tonight, will be 1 game better than the team they're opening up a series with tomorrow. 1 game better than the Texas Rangers. 1-2. After tonight's game, the Twins will spend the next week and a half against the American League West, going to Seattle and Oakland on the next road trip.
It's their only trip into Oakland this year.
Yeah.
Seattle we get a couple times.
Foul back.
Alex Burnett, only 22 years old, getting his first taste at the major league level. He's doing a very good job. He's played numerous roles for the Twins. Here just asked to get the last 3 outs.
And another foul. Another 2-2 pitch to Juan Miranda, the Yankee designated hitter. Speed pitch dribbled up the line to Mick Kelleher. High fly ball to center. Span has it measured. Miranda finally retired out number 2. Or Jimmy John's delivery of the game actually delivered twice to your doorstep.
Got an RBI double in the second inning, and then a solo home run leading the bottom of the 6th, and then the big 3-run home run in the 3-run 7th inning. You had this guy, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I was pretty confident he was going to have a good night tonight. I had him for 3 hits and a home run, and he actually got 3 hits and 2 home runs. Here's Cervelli.
Give me the lotto numbers, please.
Who was your pick? You had the number 1 overall pick.
I had Justin.
You did all right.
I got some points.
RBI, a double, a run scored, a single. Fouled away, 1-1. Yesterday, the Twins lost a couple of tough 1-run ball games. Here, hoping to finish off a 6-run win. Left side, Casilla has it. And the Twins win the series finale against New York. They did it in New York on a Jason Kubel grand slam. And they did it today with a good all-around attack. But again, Kubel with 3 extra base hits. And Anthony, the home run drought ending with Jason Kubel's 2 blasts to right.
And the other constant was Nick Blackburn. He won the game in New York. He wins the game tonight for Minnesota. We'll take a look at how well he controlled this Yankee lineup.